Hey everybody, it's Rod coming back at you with another video for the photo fair. Hey, real quick before I get into today's subject lens, I want to talk about this Canon RF 800mm f11. Yeah, f11. This only works on Canon R series cameras, mirrorless cameras. So it won't work on Nikons or Sonys. It won't work on old film cameras. So I wasn't going to do a video on it necessarily because it's kind of a narrow group of people that could benefit from that. But I did do a full review of this lens on Couve Camera, and you can check in the link below for that article. This is a cool lens. If you shoot a Canon mirrorless R series body, you should check this lens out. It's pretty cool. Anyway, and I got this, by the way, at the last photo fair in November in Newark, and I got this thing for a sweet price. It was like close to half price. It's only been out for a year and a half. It's basically brand new. So you get good deals at Photo Fair. I mean, that's why I go to these shows. You know, I run a show, for crying out loud, but I go to other shows. I go to shows that I don't own. You know, go up to Seattle for their show. I'm thinking about going down to Tucson for a show that's coming up in March. And speaking of shows coming up, on March 25th is the next Photo Fair show in Newark. It's a little ways out, but mark your calendar. You can also go to photofair.com and check out. We've got the whole schedule laid out for the entire calendar year 2023. Okay, so anyway, enough of that. Before I bring out today's subject lens, want to see if I can encourage you guys to hit that subscribe button down there because it really helps. It helps the more subscribers we have, the more YouTube will push this video out, and it makes a difference. And I love to hear people comment on these videos a lot of times, and some of these comments are really good. People that are real knowledgeable. Oh, I have one of those, and did you try this? And so you get a lot of interesting things going back and forth on there. And of course, there's always going to be a few haters out there, but haters be haters. We don't care. But at any rate, I like that interaction, and the more subscribers we have, the more people this video will get pushed out to, and that's a good thing. So today, I'm going to talk about this little Trioplan lens, and it's a 6x9 centimeter little view camera lens. So it was found on folding cameras, some of them with fixed lenses, and some of them, little like crowns. For example, this could be mounted on a lens board and used on a little mini crown. I did a review of the mini crown right here on this YouTube channel, also on Couve Camera, if you're interested in that. But what I did was I bought this one on eBay. And I bought this bellows unit that you see here at the Photo Fair show in Portland. I mounted this onto the bellows using an M42 adapter. Now, the person that I bought this lens from, they had already put that M42 adapter on there. Now, it might have been that they had a lens board that had an M42 mount. I've seen that before, where you screw the lens in instead of using the jam nut. However, this became M42. It is M42. And so that's universal screw mount. This is a NovaFlex bellows. It's lightweight. I had that big articulating one that did all the camera movements, and it was like a little mini view camera. Did a review on that on Couve Camera as well. But this one's lightweight, and I can just go out and take pictures with it, kind of holding it, handheld, because it's super lightweight. It's mostly aluminum. And that's why I like it, the NovaFlex bellows unit. But you can put it on any bellows unit that can be adapted to take universal M42 now. And so what you do with these old lenses to use them on a bellows unit like this, and you could put a film camera on the back of this. You could put your mirrorless camera. You could put an SLR, a digital camera, whatever you want. It's all, there's a T-mount adapter. You put the mount that you want on there, and you can use it any which way you want. You don't have to worry about flange distance or any of that because it's a bellows unit. So you can squish the bellows up close if need be. You can extend it out. So it works really good that way. So on these old lenses, some of these old lenses do not have a T setting or open shutter setting. And so with lenses like that, you have to set the shutter to bulb and then use a cable release and lock it open. That's what I have to do with my beloved 101 Ektar, which I love the 101 Ektar. Oh my goodness. Which this is kind of a competitor too. This one does have a T setting. So to open the shutter, you just set it to the T setting. Okay, I got a little picture up there so you can see that. And then you just trip the shutter. So you cock the shutter and it just opens right up. Now, normally you would trip the shutter using this button, but we're not going to do that because we're not using it on a film camera. Okay, so what we're just want to do is open the shutter up. Now our camera can see through the lens and we can focus, and the shutter is obviously in our camera body, so we don't need to do that. And then there's other more modern lenses than this that just have a little lever or a little button on the side that open the shutter and you don't even have to set it to T. Okay, so anyway, that's kind of how that works. You just open it up and leave it open. Okay, and now your camera can see through it. This is a 105 f3.8. That's what intrigued me about this. f3.8 is pretty fast for a mini view camera lens. I mean, usually your f4.5, f5.6, those are the kinds of wide open speeds you typically get on these old vintage lenses. But this one was an f3.8, and that's pretty darn fast, for this era. This one does not have any optical coatings at all. It is a pre-war lens, pre-World War II. So optical coatings were invented right around World War II, so we really didn't see them in civilian products until after World War II. So this lens is going to have some contrast issues, but in post, you can clean up contrast really easily. The lens is surprisingly sharp, even on my 45 megapixel Canon R5, and it's got beautiful, dreamy bokeh. So I like it. This is a good lens. I'm not sure if I like it better than my 101 Ektar. I think my 101 Ektar is just a wee bit sharper, but that's a 4.5 lens. This does get a little nicer background separation. That extra 3/4 of a stop does make a difference there, especially as you're focusing up close. So I'm going to show some photos that I took with this lens, and it's great. If you can find one of these things, I think I paid $120 for it or something. It wasn't a lot of money for something you can go out and have fun with. It's kind of unique. You can focus close. If you get a bellows unit that'll focus out a little further than this one, you could do really tight close-ups with this. I took a few close-ups with it, but this is 105 millimeters. So, that's about the extension to get infinity. Roughly, and then I still had all this extra that I could rack out. But if you get a longer bellows, you could do 1-to-1 reproduction ratio on this thing if you wanted. Don't know how well it'll perform at 1-to-1, but it is theoretically possible. So anyhow, take a look at the photos here and tell me what you think. I know, right? Those are pretty cool. I have fun with these old lenses, and these are the kinds of things that you can find at photo fair sitting on tables. And so, it's one of the reasons I go to not just the photo fair shows, which I operate, but other camera shows operated by other people, like the show up in Seattle twice a year. The Puget Sound Photographic Collectors Society has a show. Down in Tucson, Arizona, there's a show coming up a week before our show. So March, whatever that works out to, we're March 25th. So they're going to be at March 18th, 19th. Do the math, Rod. Anyway, and that's a good show down in Tucson, and Tucson, springtime in Tucson is quite nice. So I'm seeing if I can go to that show. the week before our show, March 25th at the Newark Pavilion. Again, photofair.com, you can get the whole schedule for 2023. Woo, 2023. So anyway, that's really all I've got for you today. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, guys. It really helps us out. Give us a like. I'd really appreciate that. And we'll see you at the shows and next time right here on YouTube.